so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. And after years of exploring the awe-inspiring truth of the ultimate nature of reality on the show, I'm super excited to announce that we are now casting a wider net with the new late-night style consciousness elevating talk show called Optimistic, which is going to feature none other than you, the listeners. Once your own awakening has begun to bloom and you realize that everyone is an extension of you and that everywhere you go, you're there waiting for yourself, you quickly realize the only game in town is to help wake up our sleeping brothers and sisters. And that is exactly what Optimistic is designed to do, to take this show from reaching thousands of people every day to a next level video production that can ultimately reach millions. So if you've already felt the call to etch your name in eternity as a soul who played an important role in propelling the wave of awakening that's just really beginning to sweep our planet at this crucial time in the evolution of our planet, I'm asking you to answer the call to join me in co-creating Optimistic. There are multiple exciting ways you can co-create this experience with me and the rest of the Optimistic family that are all outlined on our new webpage, optimistic.tv. Check it out, choose the option that is in the highest alignment with you, and together we can propel a wave of awakening that will create a positive ripple of impact that reverberates in our lives and the lives of others, which will ultimately help deliver the world into the heaven on earth planet of paradise it's destined to become. Get in the game, folks, and please join me at optimistic.tv so you have your own hero's tale to tell yours or someone's great-grandchildren about one day. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take about a minute and a half to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm sincerely passionate about promoting is Purium. It's no mystery that bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance is necessary if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. So if you've been looking for a way to easily get organic superfoods into your system every day with a simple plan that can help you reestablish a healthier foundation and relationship with food, like I was doing before I found Purium, I highly recommend going to positivehead.com/transformation and checking out the videos and interviews there where I dive deeply into discussions explaining why I take these products every day. And should you ultimately end up on iShopPurium.com to purchase any of their 50 plus amazing superfood products, be sure to use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we go again. So grateful to be back with you as always on this terrific Tuesday. Today we are going to discuss the topic of kindness. And we often hear the term kill them with kindness. I want to talk a little bit about healing them with kindness. And before I jump into that topic a little further, I would like to take a quick moment to read a review on iTunes. Actually going to read a couple of reviews today. One really good and one not so good. Let's keep it balanced around here, shall we? This one came in. The good one came in on iTunes from Andrea Elizabeth K1988. Life-changing. This podcast is amazing. It's deep but easy to listen to at the same time. I play it while I'm cleaning, cooking, driving, doing my hobbies, or playing with my kids. It has helped me to stay present, notice my thoughts, learn amazing new things, and see the world from an even more positive and purposeful point of view. Brandon's positive energy is contagious. His guests are inspiring, and the clips he shares are always perfect. This podcast is a daily tool for me in a journey to reach the highest version of myself. I highly recommend it to literally everyone and anyone. I feel blessed I have discovered it. Thank you, Brandon, for your labor of love. Andrea, not sure about the pronunciation there, but one of them, most likely. Andrea, thank you for taking the time to review. Definitely means the world to me. It certainly not only helps us to reach more people, but helps to fuel my fire to continue this labor of love. So thank you. And if you guys haven't reviewed on iTunes, please take a moment to do so. It would mean a lot to me if you did. It's okay if you don't, but if you do, even better. Okay. Let's talk about healing them with kindness, shall we? I was inspired to talk about this topic. I received a scathing comment on YouTube, and I don't know if you guys have seen the new Optimistic video that basically outlines all the things we're going to be doing at the Mystic Manor, and we have 111 spots for week-long retreats that we're putting so much love and intention into giving a transformational experience for those of you that come. And someone did not like the idea. Apparently, Moira wrote, "Hey there, I'm Brandon Beecham. Come give me $2,500 to party with me in exotic Venice Beach, California. I can find the perfect Abraham Hicks quote on YouTube to help resolve any trauma that probably requires professional counseling. But that's okay. Just change your vibration. I completely lack self-awareness and say disparaging words against transgendered folks and people with disabilities on my podcast. I also think rape victims want to be raped because that's the vibration they choose for themselves." It's like, wow, okay. Thank you for that wonderful review. Actually, I am being serious and saying thank you because it allows me to, it's a prompt to have this conversation and to inspire me to go down the path of sort of addressing some of these things, to get the opportunity to not react, I in a way that's, I've reacted many times when someone is on the attack in this fashion in the past, where I would just pick it apart, why it's wrong, why they're screwed up, what's wrong with them. And I did not have any reaction at all to it when I saw it, other than that little bit of sinking, feeling when someone, we all want to be liked, right? And we all, especially when our intentions are really pure. And it lasted a few seconds of just feeling like, that kind of feeling in your stomach, but nothing compared to the reaction I once would have had. And it's like, without this happening, I don't get the opportunity to be kind and to not react to it and feel, all twisted and upset and angry and reactive. And it's a blessing. So once you start seeing things from this perspective, and I certainly haven't always, but, my response to it was, sorry to hear you're hearing my words in a way that you interpret as disparaging and believe that I condone violence. That's definitely not the case. Obviously, you're angry and hurting, wishing you peace and sending you oceans of love. And then signed it, Brandon. And not meaning that in a, I could have said all kinds of sarcastic things like, so should I go ahead? I take that. This is your reservation, for the Mystic Manor, things, making silly jokes that may be interpreted as, attacking. So I didn't. I thought about that for a second just to kind of lighten it up and kind of laugh at it a little bit, but I don't know that would be the most helpful thing to do. So just to be as kind as I possibly can, because it is obviously someone who's got some anger and hurting, and they're probably heard some podcast in the past where I've talked about those very sensitive topics of people being harmed or raped or children being hurt or whatever it is. And that's a tough one for people. This idea that I talk about, and I get it. I totally get it. This idea that I don't believe there's ever been a victim in all of history, all of eternity. I believe it's happening for us and through us, not to us. And I get it. That's a very, very challenging one for people, especially if you've been a victim of rape or someone in your family in this case. And maybe that's for this person's, perspective, or maybe their experience in this lifetime. And, I haven't had that happen to me. So it is very easy to, someone could very easily say, oh yeah, that's easy for you to say, jackass, you haven't had that experience. And I get that. So yeah, I just want to take it as an opportunity to deal with, how do we deal with it when these sorts of situations, when people are obviously angry and seeing you in a light that's not so, not so bright, right? And the reality is, I do truly believe we're all creating our experience at some level. It's happening in a way, and from our higher self has, I believe, signed up for everything that's ever happened to us, whether it's losing a limb, whether it's being caught in a war, whether something terrible that we would view as terrible. Is that's happened to someone. When you understand that this is an eternal being, and the alternative that chooses to experience it all, because you can't know that what you are unless you know that what you are not. So I believe I've probably been on every side of the coin of every terrible event there's ever been. Having lived many countless lifetimes, I'm sure I've experienced all kinds of atrocities, perpetrated them, been victim to them, and I believe that for all of us. So I get it that if it's something that's in close proximity, something that's happened recently or in this lifetime, that it's particularly raw, and that can really feel cold or calloused. But I assure you that is not my perspective at all. It's actually, to me, the idea that understanding that from your higher self's perspective, we've chosen everything that's ever happened to us. The alternative to that is that we're victims. And I don't believe that we are. I believe that we're actually in the driver's seat. Some part of ourselves is in the driver's seat. We already know that that's happening at some level. Your subconscious makes a lot of decisions for you. For example, right? So your conscious mind, science, and this is like a well-known thing, right? So a lot of things are programmed at a level that your conscious isn't aware of. And so all I'm doing is extending that and saying, look, from the greatest and grandest perspective, there are relative truths, right? There are definitely relative perspectives. If I saw something, some atrocity happening, I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it, right? But, so it doesn't mean I condone violence or bad behavior or, atrocities. I'm just saying if and when they do take place and they happen, that from the ultimate perspective, that soul has signed up for any and all experiences that they're having, and as a result, I believe in the end, ultimately, it's going to deliver them into the next version of themselves, and there's growth that ultimately happens from it. And in the end, underlying it all is love. And it's all ultimately happening for love. When your source, God, this eternal being that is love, and that's all there is, that means the same as nothing, right? But if you can't know up without down, left without right. You've never seen a beautiful work of art without shadow in it. It's never happened, right? So when you understand the darkness is actually a key component and part of the light, then it doesn't mean it's not challenging. It just means you bring a certain perspective of understanding to it. And when you bring understanding to it, it definitely helps to make it, easier to at least process and move through. And that's all I'm talking about. That's all my aim is to teach and to learn myself on the show. And, at one point in the past, I would have probably viewed this comment as an attack and therefore felt like a victim in some way, right? Like, this is unjust. Do they know how much it cost to, produce the show in this place in Venice, way north of $500,000? Like, all all the things that we're going to provide to give those experiences, how inexpensive it is compared to similar things out there. There's a lot. If you guys have went to optimistic.tv, you've seen all the things that we're providing in that week-long experience for the people that are coming. And so, in the past, I could have very much gotten super defensive and angry and upset and felt attacked myself, right? And I don't. I understand. It's like from their view, they're where they're at. This is their perspective. This is their truth, and that's okay. And all my opportunity is to be love in the face of it. And it doesn't mean someone won't attack me in the future and I don't get fully triggered and, tell them, what I think of them in a not so positive way. It certainly happens. But less and less frequently. Learning to say, how do I heal the situation with kindness instead of understanding based off their view of the world. Everyone has a rational perspective and is acting rationally, right? Mother Teresa said, people are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. And I love that. You guys have heard me read that. It's been a while. Read that before, but it's one of my favorites. That's from Mother Teresa. And just, really moving into this place. Man, it's so much easier when you move into this place of, okay, they've got their perspective and I can see where they're coming from and it's okay. And I mean, I don't even need to necessarily convince them of my perspective, just to send them love where they are. It makes it so simple. And, like Henry James says, there are three things in human life that are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. And if you can be kind in the face of someone sort of attacking you, you really have the gift of seeing, wow, I've come a long way. Because I'm sure many of you are like me. When someone used to attack me, I think back, in my younger years, if someone would attack me, man, it'd be such a verbal onslaught. But what was happening to me in those moments? I was literally being pulled into a vibration that was not at all, conducive to what I wanted to experience. I was feeling sick, nauseous, stressed, anxious, mad, all these emotions that aren't, what is my aim? My aim is to be at peace, and being kind. And just allowing, and like I said, I can now take the perspective like, this comment gives me the opportunity to be non-reactive and be love in the face of, someone that's not feeling very loving towards me. Obviously, they're viewing me as like this total, like, whatever, sham, insincere, cold person who condones, evil. And I can see how they landed there, and I get it. I understand, and I accept, and I don't need to try and convince them otherwise. I can share my truth and let people, decide what it means to them. I know where my intention's coming from. I know ultimately, and what I would say to that person or anyone is, especially to them, and not that they'll ever hear this, but maybe, who knows? My intention will be reflected in the results that I get. Everyone, that's the key thing, guys. Once you understand, if you want to know what the results will be of any particular endeavor, look at the underlying intention of it. That's the root. Everything is birthed from that. If the intention is to be deceptive and to trick people out of money or, inflate your ego or any of those things, then you'll get a reflection that is is mirroring that underlying intention back to you. And if, your intention is not very pure, then you'll get a not very, pure reflection, and one that hopefully teaches you something about yourself and how you can do better next time and try again. And so what I would say to anyone, if you're ever, always give people the benefit of the doubt. And sort of that childlike innocence. It's easy for us to get really jaded about what people's intentions are because we've had a bad experience in the past too, right? And what I would say is bring that childlike innocence and trust. For me, I'm willing to trust and always expect the best from people. And not that I don't have moments where I slip out of that, but for the most part, bringing that back to that, and it puts me at risk sometimes of being burned in some way, and that's okay. Because I know ultimately the net gain is a huge positive for me, because I'm going to slowly weed out more that energy of what I don't want to attract by continuing, let there be light, let there be light, let there be light. I continue to focus on the light. I'm just going to focus on the part of humanity, of reality that I want to see more of. I may have played it a while back. There's this great video I love on YouTube called We Are From the Future. And it basically talks about the miracle of creation and how the core of a plant, basically for the photons, the light from the sun to make it through and not bump into each other and sort of implode as they're passing through the plant to get to the core where it feeds the plant, is like, it's a statistical improbability, like hugely impossible that it would ever make it through. Sort of like the sperm making it to the egg kind of thing, right? And it talks about, in that video, it talks about how, at the core, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just play it real quick. Let's take a listen. Instead of hearing me, let's take a listen to this clip. This is called We Are From the Future. This is just a clip from it. I would recommend watching the whole video, though. And this is I found it on the Garrett John YouTube page, who actually made the video. And take a listen. A couple minutes here.
Greetings. We are from the future. Everything is going to be all right. The future is a beautiful place, but you'll need some training in order to inhabit it. In the future, technology evolves faster than any human mind can think. When the singularity occurred, we became like gods, able to create entire worlds in the blink of an eye. Every thought had drastic immediate impact. All of our dreams became a reality, but so did our nightmares. The future became a battle of ideas. We had to learn to direct our minds to prevent dark psychological forces from destroying all of us. Now, with every new world we create, we summon the sacred imperative for life. Let there be light. 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 How can we be from the future, you might ask? Let us explain. Plants harvest light with near-perfect efficiency, but this is impossible under classical physics. Along the way to the photosynthesizing core, photons of light should collide with other particles, but they don't. A photon reaching the core is as likely to succeed as you sprinting blindfolded through a dense forest, reaching the center without striking a single tree. Plants are engaged in a kind of miracle. The plant puts the photon into a state of quantum superposition, multiplying it by every route that photon could possibly take. Imagine blindly sprinting through a forest, being multiplied into every one of the billions of possible paths. If any one of your possibilities were observed hitting a tree, the superposition would collapse, and that would be your final outcome. But the plant patiently refuses to observe any of these casualties, while at its heart it continues to sing, "Let there be light." When any of the possibilities finally reaches the core without fail, only that winner is observed. All the other possibilities disappear. The winner is transmitted back through time from the future and becomes the only possibility that ever existed. This is how photons reach the plant's core with impossible precision. This is how you and every organism in existence overcame the massive improbabilities of life. This is how we are from the future. This is how you will become the light of the world as we invoke the sacred imperative together. Let there be light. 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 Let there be light.
Let there be light. I love sharing clips and collaboratively creating and getting a message out there. That's part of the reason I share Abraham clips so much, because she's my favorite to do that with. But in this case, such a cool and inspiring video from Garrett John here. Yeah, like I said, I recommend checking it out, the whole video, if you get a chance. Well, that's it for today, folks. I hope this helps to inspire kindness, non-reactivity, the next time you bump up against a scathing review or someone who's angry or upset, just realize that they're hurting and that they're also there happening for you. They're working just like any difficult, challenging event in one's life, no matter what the temperature of it is, whether it's a small thing or a massive challenge. It's all happening to help you to grow into the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. With that being said, I have a track to leave you here with. This is a brand new album from Fia, who I absolutely adore. Incredibly inspired artist. And this song is called The Nature of Love. Seemed appropriate today. Brand new. Just came out. The entire new album. The album is called Waterfall of Wisdom. Recommend checking that out as well. I lay down my sword at your feet. Hope you guys enjoy this. Nature of Love by Fia. Till next time, journey well. Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to let you all know that we have finally created the Game with the Universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind, and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time by doing this manually. But now if you go to positivehead.com/YO universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and grandest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to engage and invite friends, family, people on social media to check out the podcast as well. So be sure to check out positivehead.com/YOUNIVERSE and be sure to tell all your friends so they can play a game with the universe, which also helps the show to reach new people, which I greatly appreciate. And as a quick reminder, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them every day. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I can't stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so, and I'm sincerely excited to share it with all of you. Lastly, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
I empty myself over again. Nothing to be or to achieve. Simple, beautiful clarity. I lay down my sword at your feet. Spirit, move me. Where would you have me go? Spirit, show me. What do I need to know? I surrender it all, can't fight anymore. Take me in your arms and teach me the nature of love. I am reborn, my heart is open wide. flowing with grace through time and space. Finally, I feel my place. I lay down my sword at your feet. Spirit, move me. Where would you have me go? Spirit, show me. What do I need to know? I surrender it all, can't fight anymore. Take me in your arms and teach me the nature of love, of love, of love, of love. May the light of my soul keep guiding me home. Spirit, move me. Where would you have me go? Spirit, show me. What do I need to know? I surrender it all, can't fight anymore. Take me in your arms and teach me the nature of love, of love, of love, of